All right, thought I heard you out there. Welcome to my new underground lair. Believe it or not, someone actually sent me to this location. They told me I need to come here, check it out, and that most likely myself and my viewers are going to want to see it. And let's just say what I've been finding so far has not disappointed. I'm definitely enjoying this location. I'm pretty sure you're going to as well. To see what we're checking out and to find out why I was sent here, all you need to do is come along with me. You really never know what you'll find in the woods. Anyone up for a game of bowling? It's name is Dave on it. Ebonite Tornado. Black bowling ball. Dave, found your ball if you're looking for it. Just come down here in the woods and grab it. So I do want to be fully transparent with you before we start exploring. Now typically, especially as of late, when I film locations like this or similar locations, I try to do as much research as I can ahead of time. I gather all the information, names, dates, pictures, map images, put it all together and share it with you to help you understand what used to exist in these locations. And it also helps us learn what's still existing today. But for this location, I need to share with you as little as possible. The reason being is because I can't take credit for this location. This location was shared with me by someone who is well respected in the exploring, especially the mining community. Some of you may know him as Curiosities Captured. More of you probably know him as Justin, Phil's friend from Amazing Pennsylvania. I've actually become friends with him this past year, and we've been sharing locations with each other. And this is a location that he told me about that he said I probably wanted to check out for myself. And he said, although many locals do know about it, it's the best interest of this location not to give away any details or information, which means I can't tell you any names, dates, show you any pictures or map images. The location's most likely going to speak for itself. Prior to coming here, I did do research for myself, so I had an idea what I was working with, and I think we could maybe identify what a few things used to be. But more so, we're just going to be looking at what's here because he said, I'm sure you and your audience are going to want to check it out. So all I do ask is that if you know where this location is, or if you do happen to find it through your own research, is just please don't share it in the comments section, not only out of respect for me, but also for Justin, because myself, Justin, and the whole entire exploring mining community don't want to see these locations get razed or sealed up. We'd like to document them and hopefully have them stick around for future generations. So with that being said, let's start exploring. Now the only problem is where to go. Now, this is not a huge area, but it's pretty thick and overgrown. Behind me is train tracks, active. Ahead of me is a roadway. You can probably hear the traffic. So it's going to be in between those two. So I just need to be careful of where I step, careful of what I show, and hopefully sooner than later we'll come upon some of our first findings. Looks like it does drop down over here. I do see the train tracks back there. I'm just not certain if I have to go closer to the road. Oh, actually, okay, we're headed the right direction. I do see some stuff up here. Now, during my research, I could tell you what I did find on the maps. There's a few buildings that did exist. One of them was the boiler house or power plant. Would have had stacks coming out of it, provided power to the site. The second location was a wash house or washery, which I believe is for cleaning, washing the coal. And the third is a fan house. And if I'm not mistaken, from what I saw, based on the map images and where we are in modern day, the boiler house is going to be further down that direction. I want to jump in here to let you know I did make a mistake in the location of the boiler house. I stated it was farther away from where I was. That's incorrect. After coming home, looking back at the map images that I found, the boiler house actually would have been behind me and closer to the road. But what I can tell you is that there's absolutely nothing left of it today because that area has been transformed and altered and partially redeveloped on. So the boiler house is not in the direction I think it is, but there's nothing left of it today. But what I can tell you is that the ruins that we do find, I did identify on the maps after filming. Once we get through those ruins, I will put a subtitle on the screen letting you know what they are. So we're coming upon some ruins here already, which we may or may not be able to identify what they are. But if you couldn't tell already, this is related to an old mining business. So we're going to see things related to the mining operation of colliery site, breaker site, and some other things attached to that. But I am gonna be on the lookout though for some other things that, well, specifically why Justin and Phil came here in the past. Just came from on top of that hill there, scaled down, and here we are presented with our first findings. We do have a structure right here. You can see there's like a basement to it. I see a milk crate down there, some icicles hanging. So this is here, some other foundations, ruins, and piles of bricks. So let me get to a better vantage point. We'll check it out. And this time I didn't call in any favors. The train decided to show up on its own. It's like it's approaching from the south. So we're basically walking on top of rubble and ruins, and we would be inside a building back in the day. And it looks like now it's a dumping pit. Oh, there's like a deeper basement there to it. Some brick ruins. So you can kind of see there's like a pit here, a column coming out, 2 openings there. And I'm standing on like a false floor. I want to see if I could get down there. It's like a sub basement. I think we could explore that. And there goes the train. R.J. Corman. Red switcher locomotive. Smoky one at that too. And it's starting to snow too. Okay, so this doesn't drop down all that far, but it does let's try it again. It does go down deeper right here. I got a flashlight, so yeah, it's like an underground room. It's pretty neat. Make sure there's no critters down there or any bears hibernating. Do you want to check it out with me? Well, grab your flashlight, follow me. All right, just watch yourself. It's a little icy here. As I just said it, that hurt. I slid right on a stump, right in my butt. Smell oil down here. Okay, we are underground, and it's not a mine, but it's a subterranean room. So yeah, I slid and landed right on that. I thought it was a stump. It's a big threaded bolt. Not the most pleasant feeling. So down here we have, looks like electrical panel here. Maybe some breakers or switches. Wiring, conduit there. It's all concrete, steel beams. I see conduit on top, probably was lights. And this is a filter system. You see them often for not only water, but for diesel. So it could be fuel filters, could be water filters. Would have been 2 gauges there. Something mounted beneath it too on those brackets. But they're filtering something. Maybe fuel, diesel, oil, who knows? But it does smell like oil down here, like heating oil. Like if you own an oil furnace and you get your tanks filled up, you know the smell. This is what we spotted from the beginning, which I thought were icicles. They're basically stalactites. It's coming through the concrete there. Those 2 openings, and man would be down here to change the filters, obviously, and to have electricity down here. So this could have been part of a maintenance repair shop. That looks like a bunch of conduit there, I believe. All those tubes or ports. There's a conduit box right there, like a plug. Window. And then these brackets hanging down here, so something looks like it was attached to them. Since we're down here, we're going to get some measurements just so you have a better understanding of the size of this room. So we're going to go long ways here, and that will be 43.6 feet lengthwise. Now here, widthwise, it's going to be different because this one is inset a little bit. So we got, right here is 13.8, and up here by you guys, since this wall is protruding out, we could do 11.3. So we have the three measurements right here. There they are. So 43, 13, and 11 for this room down here. As far as ceiling goes, or roof, whatever you want to call it, but more or less a ceiling, we have 8.6. So not sure if that helps at all, but at least gives us an understanding as to the size of this room. We know that man would have been down here to at least check on or change out the filters. There's electrical panels, there's conduit. So is this the powerhouse? I know that for a fact it's not. But I'm thinking with these pits here and the smell of oil and just other components here, this may have been a maintenance or repair shop. A lot more to see. So let's get out here safely, not fall on any rusty anchor bolts, and proceed on. Back on the surface now, it just came out of our little new underground layer. And like I said, everywhere you look over here, there's just ruins and rubble. Sections of walls and brick, all different discarded pieces. And then right here next to me is another area. So we have another chamber area. You can see that crossbeam going across. Remnants of a brick wall there. This one's a bit deeper, but not enclosed, but it's got that big center divider. So looks like we could enter from the other side, and we'll go in and see if we find any more clues. Notice this box right here. It's like a junction box maybe. Some stonework here. And we know this building had electricity too. We have pretty large broken off insulators. Just to show my hand for scale, these are pretty big. I don't know if they're porcelain or ceramic. I think porcelain. Gotta watch you don't fall and slip and hit your head on that. That'll ruin your day. You can see a small lip here. Beautiful nature's carpet here. Looks like there was cross beams, so they were inserted in those slots and resting on here. Probably would have been for the flooring for the first floor or the main floor. That's what it looks like anyways. And what we have up here is basically remnants of one of those joists or supports right here. All concrete though. Something was on those brackets on the way out there, or the way in. Oh, look at, remember down in that room we saw those ports, or where I said conduit? They're right here. So these buildings were interconnected, and I don't know if that would be for electricity or for something else. It's not your traditional conduit like you see like with the metal or aluminum piping for the wires. Those are different, but we did see those down in our new underground layer. And that is just an open cavity right there. So proximity, you know, we're only that far away from where we just came from. So it's connected underground. So far, I am liking this location. I can see why Justin sent me here. I really wish that I could share everything with you because the history here is pretty good and the map images do outlay a lot of these buildings. Not every building I found, you know, is still here that was on the maps, but the ones I do know about, what I mentioned, the boiler plant, washery, and fan house, they may or may not be still here. Again, this may be an unlisted building. I don't remember seeing this one on the maps, but it could be part of the washery, could be maintenance repair shop, could be a lot of different things. Regardless, though, it's still pretty awesome that it's still existing today and we're able to walk through and document it while it's still existing from so long ago. But I know there's a lot more to see, so we need to head out of here and keep moving. So for reference, farthest away is our underground layer. Right here is the foundations with the large conduit. And as I'm approaching over here, I'm seeing a pretty dark hole. I don't know if this is a foundation or something more than that. But there's a pretty large tree down there. I do see it's circumferenced with, looks like concrete. Now look at it, there's rebar right here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this may be an old shaft, which possibly could mean we're approaching the area of the fan house. If I was to guess how deep that is from here, where I'm standing, I'd say at the very bottom, maybe 25 feet. And then from end to end over there, probably about 35 feet, maybe 30, 35. And then crossways, I measure it, but I can't get down there safely and it's uneven ground, but across, say between 20, 25 feet. Yeah, so here's another view. I know it's obstructed with the growth. Ow, man, these pricklies are sticking me left and right. It's hard to see clearly. It'd be even worse in the summertime. Since I'm by myself, I'm not going to venture down there. And even if someone was here, I probably would need like a rope or something to tie off to help get in and out. But yeah, I'm thinking this is a filled-in shaft here. As far as I could tell, it is plugged up. It may or may not be the true bottom, but from where we're standing though, we could see where all the concrete is there. I had a hell of a time traversing through that area there past what I'm calling the shaft. Super thick. Aside from some waste piles, I don't really see anything else over this direction, so I may be going in the wrong direction, even though this is the direction of the things I was able to identify. So I'm gonna go a bit further, see if we find anything left of what I know used to exist here. And if we find anything of that or something new, we'll pick up over there. If not, we'll retreat, maybe head back further closer to the rails. But I know, as far as I know, there should be more out here to see than just this so far. The bad news is that there's not much of anything left here. There is some pushed material, uneven ground here, no foundations, no landscape, which begs me to ask, which I've asked time and time again, is why are certain things left behind, other things are removed? We have ruins that we just crawled around in, which could be a maintenance shop or washery, but then the other buildings here, there's nothing left in them at all, no trace at all. So I just don't understand the method or reasoning why certain things get removed, certain things get left behind. I think what I want to do now is proceed in this direction, going back towards the tracks. We'll see if there's anything at all. And the one last area to check is up near the front corner, closer to the road. There may or may not be something there. I'm just trying to go off what I researched prior to coming here, but the landscape and what's left today is not matching up exactly. So I'm not going to give up hope yet. We're just going to proceed on and make the most of this location. Made it all the way back to the tracks. Between my last clip and here, it's been nothing but a struggle to try to come through here. It is so thick and prickly and thorny. It's not been fun at all. I've also been looking back at the pictures that Justin sent me from when him and Phil were here. And we definitely found a few of the things that they showed me in the pictures, but I think there's a couple more things we haven't found yet. The one thing I could have done on my part though is I underestimated this landscape. I thought it was going to be relatively free and clear to walk through for the most part. I didn't think it was going to be like this. I could have gotten the GPS coordinates for the buildings. Even for the ones that aren't here, we could say, hey, at least we're standing right where it would have existed. Because many of the things were on the maps. Not everything, but many were. And that way I'd have solid evidence, or solid information, I should say, of where I need to go, instead of just wandering aimlessly. But sometimes this is when you make bonus discoveries, so I'm not going to complain too much, but I definitely could have improved upon my visit to this location. I was wondering, why does this tree have green leaves? It's middle of winter right now. Well, I think this is rhododendron, or maybe mountain laurel. I always confuse the two. But typically it's more like a bush. This one's like a full-fledged tree right here. Also, a little fun fact for you. Today is December 31st, New Year's Eve, which means this is my last video I'm filming for 2025. But when this video does come out, it'll be my first video for 2026. So we're going to kind of overlap both years here by filming this location today. So, and just in case I forget, Happy New Year to you. Hopefully 2026 is a good year for all of us. Anyone missing a bike wheel? Again, the things you find in random places in the woods. And I just noticed something over here. See a tarp. I don't know if someone's living here. I'm guessing a hunting blind. Thought maybe someone was taking shelter out here. Probably a hunting blind. So we made it all the way to the back by the tracks, came up around that artificial mound, walked through here, saw the bicycle wheel, that hunting blind, and it's much more cleared out here, but look what I found here. It's a few ties. Is that? Yeah, holy crap it is. Ow, damn pickers. These things are gonna be the end all be all of this video. Freaking thorns. Yeah, this is a railroad tie, complete with a plate and spikes. Just embedded here. It's like this tree overturned and it kind of uprooted this. Not a surprise though, because all these coal operations were serviced by train, and there would have been probably a spur line coming off the active tracks back there. We are making more progress. Okay, so railroad tie confirmed. We have a foundation here. Nothing more than just a foundation or a footer. And we have another one here with some pipes. The steel plate on top. Might be more over here. I do know we can't go too much further in that direction because basically there's nowhere to go. It's a redeveloped area. So it looks like we're coming up behind some of what we checked out before, but I am seeing it from a different angle, which means maybe a couple of things here that we missed originally. Is that a helmet? It might be like a motorcycle helmet over there. We'll check that out in a little bit. We're gonna go left and then come up around because I have a feeling we're closing in on what else we're supposed to find here. So the one thing I noticed is right here, some pushed over concrete columns. And actually see more of that conduit or holes that we saw earlier. So I don't think that's the original place. I think it's pushed down here. But all around here though is like a treasure trove of things that were discarded. We got remnants of a stool. I was gonna say school. Stool, this is the kind you turn to raise and lower. Got a football helmet. R-E-J-O-L-Y. Looks like it's been through the war. Even over here, there's an old television set. There's a box with a toggle switch on it. And a handle too, a little go box. There's an old tackle box right here. Well, now that we cleared this area, let's head up over by that motorcycle helmet. Is this what we found before? Oh yeah, that's our subterranean new underground layer. This is that window that we saw from inside. Noticing a lot more brickwork over here. Boy, my gear and myself are just covered in thorns and everything else. So after taking about a 30-minute intermission, I did learn a few things. And I wandered around looking to see what else is out here. We actually walked by a couple things I didn't even realize it. Whether I was just not paying attention or I was focusing on the camera. We walked by a couple things though that we were right next to. There's also, I knew there was something else out here. So I actually was able to get in touch with Justin. We did a phone call. And he literally walked me to the right location of something that's gonna require my 360 camera and something that's actually giving out heat. I'm gonna say that for last video. It's gonna be a little bit more effort to capture that footage. But also, the hole that we found, the big shaft, there's something behind it that I missed as well. So let's get back on foot and head over to see what we missed before we actually call this location a day, because like I said, while I'm here, I want to make the most of it. So a little bit more to come. So this is what we spotted from the distance. We actually do have a motorcycle helmet. This is like a dirt bike helmet or off-road helmet. O'Neill MX Motocross. It's been here for a while. Some snow in it actually. Or ice. For some reason, just laying there. And it's laying on top of some pieces of like scrap metal. So, we walked right by these insulators, and we also walked not only by the helmet, but by steps. I don't know how I didn't see them. I think I was just too focused on the insulators and getting inside here. I didn't even pay attention to this area. So the helmet was laying there, steps were here, and completely missed it. But thankfully, walking around again, that helmet itself brought me back to this area. But there's more. So looking down to that chamber that we walked in earlier, we know that this was a manway with the steps coming up right there. So steps came up, we were able to walk up here. We know there is floor joists going across, so it would have been a platform or floor here. And then up here is even more. So we have right here a big support with these anchor bolts right there, and I don't know what that is. Well, whatever this thing is, there's actually a bunch of them right down in here. So I don't know if they were stored inside here or someone dumped them there, but there's a bunch of like little metal trays identical to this. So could be original, could be not. Oh, there's a little hole. Looks like we have an old wheelbarrow right here. Actually, no, it's not. It's a bench seat. It's like a bench seat from a vehicle, I'm guessing. So here's our shaft. We checked this out before from two different angles. We're on the back side of it now. There is some hardware and some brackets coming out the side there. So we missed that earlier. And we did confirm with Justin this was one of two shafts here. But directly behind it, I missed this. another foundation with some metal plates. So there's some right there and some right there, which tells me this could be one of two things based on the proximity and location. With two shafts, one of them being an air shaft for ventilation, this could be remnants of the fan house. Also could be a type of hoist house for the other shaft for raising and lowering in the mines. So I don't have confirmation of that, but those are the only two things that come to mind. With this proximity that close to one of the shafts tells me one of those two things. With this being a larger shaft, I'm thinking this might be a hoist house area and they were raising and lowering out of the mine, where the other one would have been probably smaller and basically more squared off for ventilation for the fan house. Just more and more evidence. Another footer with a cut beam, another footer with a cut beam. And this is all proximity behind the big shaft, not far away from what we believe is the hoist house. So we have one final location, and I'm saving the best for last, and I think you'll see why. It's gonna involve some creativity on my part, but Justin did say with that 360 camera of yours, most likely you're gonna get some great shots of it. So I'm gonna bring you to it. I'm gonna get set up. You'll be able to see what I'm doing with this camera and be able to see the footage of what's there with the other camera. So stay tuned. This is what we've been waiting for. So this is the location that I wouldn't have found, most likely wouldn't have found without Justin's help. So I did bring my thermal gun with me, and just to show, ambient temperature right now is around 28 degrees. I'll take a screen capture, and right below us here, there's an opening with the rail coming out, and it's moist and I can feel a little bit of warmth. So as I come down here, pointed in there, it's roughly almost 30 degrees warmer. So I'm gonna do a screen capture of that. It shows the highest temperature is reading is 57. We'll see if we get anything closer here. Boy, it's just illuminated yellow. Such an eerie looking image on the screen here. 58 degrees it's reading. So that tells us, without a shadow of a doubt, this leads to underground. Not only is it not big enough to go through, but from what I was told, what we're gonna see, you wouldn't want to go into it anyways because, well, you'll see for yourself. So I'm gonna do my best to, I don't know if I can illuminate it with the flashlight. I'm gonna try to illuminate with the flashlight. I'm gonna put my 360 camera in there and leave it in there, and during editing, I'll be able to manipulate the image, show everything I want to see, or that you want to see, and probably get one heck of a view. The only way that would make it better is if I had a light attached to this, but I don't have a way to do that right now, so we're just gonna have to make do with what we have at our disposal. So I'm gonna get some light in there, maybe not showing exactly where we want it to, but I'm gonna do my best to even reach in there with my hand, hopefully not drop the flashlight and be out of a expensive 3-night light. So give me a moment and we're gonna do this. Okay, I'm recording. We're gonna stick this in there. Oh, I hear an echo down there. Okay, I'm gonna let it sit there. I'm gonna try to get some light in there now. Okay, we're running into an issue. With it being cold out here, warmer in there, this is actually fogging up. I brought it out just to make sure everything's good, and the screen's completely fogged up, the lens. So I'm gonna try my best to get a shot of this. Worst comes to worst. Actually, that's not gonna help either. I thought if I stuck you guys in there, but if it fogs up, it's not gonna matter. Being here on the cold day is maybe not the best solution for this, just because of the change in temperature. So we're gonna try this one more time. Okay, we're gonna leave that recording and try not to bump it. Okay, I got the light in there. I'm shooting down. Praying to God I don't drop it. I'm hoping we're able to get something off this image too, because again, if it's fogged up, it's not going to be usable footage. So I have the flashlight pointing straight down vertically. And I'm going to attempt to get back out now. There's another opening here I could maybe try. It's like it's a lined shaft, vertical shaft. As to why there's rail here, I don't know. I'm also gonna drop a rock down there. Drop a rock down there. Oh, that's deep. And there's water down there for certain. Oh, that's deep. And there's water down there for certain. I just watched the footage back. It looks like you can see some things, but not everything. I'm gonna try one more time. I'm not satisfied with what I saw. I'm gonna stick it in the right side here and put the flashlight in the left side. That way I don't disturb this and may have a better visibility showing down. So I'm gonna give this one final go. A little wet here too. But if this doesn't work, I'll have to come back when it's warmer to try to get better results. Okay, it's in the recording. Let's try this one more time. Okay, I feel like I got a better hold on it now. I can move the light around since the pole's not in the way. So, fingers crossed we have better results this time. So hopefully the camera's not too fogged up, but it's definitely warmer in there though. I can feel the difference from out here to inside. Okay, good news is I still have my flashlight. All right, so aside from the image getting fogged up just a little bit, we could see a heck of a lot better. The majority of what we want to see is to the right here. So putting the camera over there, shining the light down at that angle was the right combination. So thankfully we got what we need. Looks pretty awesome. If I was here during warmer weather where the temperature is closer, if not even warmer out here, we wouldn't have any foggy conditions, but this is what you have to tend with when you go underground with cameras or lenses. When it's colder outside, warmer inside, the transfer of temperatures forms condensation, and until it adjusts, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Make sure I don't forget anything here. So, what do you think of the site? I could see not only why Justin of Curiosities Captured recommended this place to me, but why he didn't want me to share anything either, because once not only too many people find out about it, but the wrong people find out about it, it gets vandalized, it gets destroyed even more, and sometimes they get just razed and everything that's still here would be gone. So, although I love sharing the history, love telling you as much as I can, there are exceptions to be made, and this is one of them here. He also did tell me of another location I'm going to, hopefully after this one, which again, it's gonna be undisclosed, I can't share it with you, but the area is gonna speak for itself. And from what I was told, that place, well, I don't even want to give any spoilers, but should be similar, but much different than what we saw here. But what I can tell you though is that what's here is pretty fascinating. I love that underground layer that we found. It's probably my favorite part of this whole complex. But then we later on discovered the steps, those giant insulators, and various random other things, including the big shaft that's now filled in, but we could see that one day, back in the day, it was a shaft. So I do want to thank Justin of Curiosities Captured for suggesting this place to me. I kept my word not to give away any details, not to show anything descriptive that would identify it. And as mentioned, just a reminder, if you do know where this is or find out where it is, just please don't share it in the comments. We don't want this place to get ruined. This is basically a time capsule. It's history preserved, and even though everything is not here, what's here still tells a story. And it's people like myself, Justin, and others in the community who like to document both above and below ground to keep anthracite history alive here in Pennsylvania. So thanks so much for watching. Feel free to share your thoughts down below. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.